Hello! I'm doing another one of my homeschooling themed Q&A videos today. Let's go! So the first question is from Sophia Staples, and she asks 4 things in one big long question. So here we go, this is what we've got coming up. Number 1, does Izzy ever meet with other children her own age? Do you think if she goes off to uni in the future she would be disadvantaged with limited contact with other people / really struggle with being away from you? How does having severe eczema stop Izzy going to school? Does it impact her homeschooling as well? Many thanks. Right, and I'm going to tie this one in with Joseph K's question because he asks 2 things, and the second thing that he asks is how do you supplant social interactions kids have at school attending with other school kids? So I'm going to answer both of those in the same one. So number 1 was, does Izzy ever meet with children her own age? Well, you'd be surprised how many people ask about this. It's a very common question indeed, and the answer is yes! But being me, a simple yes is not going to be a long enough answer, so I'm going to elaborate on how home-educated children, under normal circumstances, not the lockdown obviously, but how home-educated children can get a really good, rich, balanced and varied social life. So one option is home ed groups, and these tend to be run by home-educated parents that group together and set up a group. And some of them are more structured than others. Some of them will have structured activities to do. Some of them will be completely free play, and a lot of them have activities on offer that are optional, and those are the ones that we've always gone to, and they're absolutely brilliant. So your child can meet kids of all different ages, and they all have home education in common with each other, and it's really good for the parents as well. At these groups you do meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different types of people, and because they're home educated, the home ed groups tend to be about once a week. So on the other days of the week, once your children has gravitated towards their own particular like-minded friends, they will tend to meet up during the week outside of group. So for instance, we've gone swimming, we've gone to museums, we've gone to the beach, we've gone to meet in parks, cafes, and of course you go and meet at each other's houses because here in the UK it's wet and cold for a lot of the year. So being home educated and having a lot of different friends from different backgrounds has certainly enabled us as a family to spend a lot of time with other families in their own homes and to have them over with us in our home as well. And so you really do get a good insight into a lot of different ways of living, because every family is different. Every family has different codes of morality, things that they hold dear. And it's been a very good way. So I think a lot of people think that homeschooled children are very blinkered to what's going on, and they maybe are only really growing up in the culture of their own tiny little household, but that's not been the case for us at all. We've really mingled with a lot of people from different countries as well, you know, friends from all different parts of the world that are home educating. So we've eaten their food and just had a great insight into that. So I've probably gone on enough about that one. Okay, so that was home ed groups and meeting up with other home educators that you've met at the home ed groups. This is the era of social media. A lot of home educators hook up on Facebook. Generally they will meet first in person, make sure that they're okay, and thereafter, once the relationship is established, home educators quite often network on private Facebook groups to their own specific group, and will organise events outside of home ed group. For instance, everybody meets at Roath Park at 11 o'clock by the duck pond and we all bring a picnic, you know, that kind of thing. Or we'll all go pile in to the Lido for a swimming session. Everybody books online in advance. It's all coordinated on the Facebook groups. Or there might be ice skating. We'll book as a big group to go ice skating. I say we, I've not personally done it, somebody else has. Swimming in an enclosed pool. People meet up to go swimming en masse. Beach trips en masse. There's a lot of forest meetups as well. Some home education groups don't even have a fixed base, but they meet weekly in different locations every week to keep it really varied and interesting. Where else have we met up? Oh, we've done things like take on a school trip. For example, Cardiff Castle do school group visits. So somebody on Facebook will say, who's interested in learning about the British Empire, suitable for ages 11 to 14? Any takers, £5 a head or whatever. And you put your name down, you give them the money and they organise it. So there's a lot of that goes on as well. So it's not all free play. Play centres, you know, these places with the indoor jungle gym, we will just all arrange to pile in at a certain time. And in fact, somebody is a very proactive member of our community who organises that and organises a discount for the home educators as well. So it works in the favour of the play centre and the home educators because we bring in a lot of custom to that. Izzy's grown out of that a bit now. Like, we might still rock up at them sometimes, but the teenagers are more interested in just sitting around tables playing games and chatting now. Birthday parties with the home educators, we've been to a lot of those over the years. Cinema trips, oh, the list is endless. Bowling, we've done a bit of bowling as well. So that was home ed groups and home ed friends. So of course, for a good nice variety, you want to mix it up a bit and have plenty of friends that are school children as well. So a good way that we've done this personally is a lot of groups and clubs and classes with schooled children outside of school hours. So these have been things like swimming lessons, gymnastics lessons, tennis lessons, drama clubs, choirs. Trying to think off the top of my head now. She's done so many. Oh, she did a history class one year as well with some older children. Mine personally, Isabel has done Mandarin lessons as well. That was a good one, in with lots of Chinese children. There were some other non-Chinese children in it as well. They were the non-native gang and they kind of hung out really. There's a Spaniard and an Italian and another Brit, yeah. Music classes. We did early music classes every Saturday for years. And of course you meet people in those as well, and then you might want to see them outside of that class as well. A lot of Izzy's friends now she's met from interest-specific classes, and they keep in touch daily on social media. So on top of classes, of course, you've got clubs like Brownies, Cubs, Badgers, St John's Ambulance, and that's another one you might want to think about. We haven't really gone down that avenue because we haven't had time. Our schedule has literally, we've had something on every day for 5 days, something structured for every week for years and years and years until we got to the GCSE years really. So we couldn't fit anything else in if we wanted to. This didn't apply to us personally, but I know for a lot of home educators they had firm links with church communities and had a huge social network associated with that and did a lot of things as families through the church. And this also didn't apply to us, but a lot of home educators have big extended families with lots of cousins living locally, so quite a lot of home educators have big family meetups as well, which is another way that they can socialise. So the next part of that question was, do you think if she goes off to uni in the future she would be disadvantaged with limited contact with other people / really struggle with being away from you? No, I don't think so at all, because, well, she hasn't only been with me. She has had a lot of contact with a lot of other people from different social backgrounds. So no, I mean, she's done holiday camps, you know, not the sleeping over ones, but the ones where they go every day. So she might go every day for a week, 9 till 3:30 or something like that. It's never been a problem. Ever since she was very little, my dad and mum have looked after her. So from very early on, I was back gigging, and they would literally have her overnight for me from a young age. So she's used to being away from me personally. I know they're still family members. She's had loads of sleepovers with friends over the years. She is very happy to get public transport to go and meet up with friends. So, you know, she'll travel 20 miles on public transport without me. She's quite confident to do that. A big part of the way I've home educated is to nurture independence. Anyway, I've consciously tried to do that. I've always, you know, given her the opportunity to go up to the counter in the shop to ask for things. If she wants something, you know, I'll give her the money and hold back so I'm there, but just eased her in slowly. I've had her using the ticket machine in the train station under my supervision for years, given her the jobs of, I don't know, looking up the train times and things, just so that she's well rehearsed in doing it, so when she's on her own she'd be fine. So yeah, I'm not worried. The third one, well, the third part of that very long question, how does having severe eczema stop Izzy going to school? Having eczema as bad as Izzy had stops you doing everything. It impacts absolutely every area of your life. I just could not keep her intact in school. So Izzy's default position was to be scratching hard 24/7, even in her sleep. Like, it was impossible to manage, and she's just tearing cuts into herself. Like, changing her nappies, I'd have her on the floor, I'd have one leg over her two legs, the other leg over her two arms, which I'd get behind her head, and I'd have her down hard, and I'd quickly be trying to change the nappy in that position. And all the while she's trying to wriggle free and scratch herself with her fingernails and her feet. And pretty much she's been like that for most of her life until the last couple of years, when we've really managed to get it a lot more under control with medication. So if you can imagine that somebody's feeling that itchy, they can't concentrate on their schoolwork, they can't sleep at night, so they are exhausted all day and itchy, and worse itchy because they're exhausted and they haven't slept. So yeah, she just needed to sleep when she could, which was not compatible with a school routine. I needed to be constantly patching up wounds, constantly applying creams. I had to protect her open wounds from contamination, like, you know, dirt and bacteria, because she was just constantly on antibiotics when she was little, and no mother wants their kid to have loads of antibiotics. We've all read about superbugs and that sort of thing, so, you know, it wasn't going to work. Just if you try to think back to when you've been bitten by some insects and you just really want to scratch, and, like, you know, if you've had quite a lot of bites and it's all over, well, it's like that, but it's literally every part of you is itchy. That's how she's been for much of her life. So yeah, I mean, when she was in school, every so often she was needing to go to hospital for up to about 9 days at a time, and it was just like a cycle. It'd just get worse and worse, and I couldn't keep her out of hospital. So after I homeschooled, she's never been back to hospital for eczema again as an inpatient. So that definitely really helped in the management of that condition. Another reason school didn't work out was I couldn't control what she was eating and drinking, and she was so sensitive to food and drink stuffs. You know, it would cause terrible skin flare-ups if she had something with a bit of lemon in, for instance, and it was just impossible because she would, you know, they share stuff in the playground. The teachers can't watch them 24/7. They can't be one-on-one with a child, and that was not an option for Izzy. It wasn't funding. So the last part of that question was, does eczema, impact her homeschooling as well? Many thanks. So yeah, I did. If you're in constant pain and violently itchy all over and sleep deprived, it's going to affect your schooling. It seriously impacted on how much time she could sit and concentrate for. And obviously sometimes if she wasn't getting to sleep till 5:30 in the morning, there's no way she's getting up to do morning school, so she'd just get up when she had had enough sleep. And yeah, I'd just really be very flexible with her sort of up and down. I can hear her creeping. You coming in? She's fine now though. You won't believe it's the same child. Honestly, she's revolutionised. We're having the best year ever of skin. It's like,
I haven't done my hair yet.
Oh, she's crawling. She's getting vain now. She's crawling past.
Yeah, I want to do
All right, give me a minute, then I'll just finish this video up.
well, there's another mango.
Yeah, I'll do you a mango in a minute. I'm just finishing my video up. Stop scratching. Oh, did you hear that?
I'm itchy.
That's the problem with these Q&As. You need a nice long lump of time without interruption, which home ed parents don't get very often, even at Key Stage 4. Oh yeah, so we were on how does it impact our homeschooling. So on top of all that, medical appointments, thick and fast. So it was a lot of days. We'd just be having hospital appointments anyway, so couldn't do school very easily. Be doing bits and bobs on the bus, on the train, in the waiting room. But, you know, how much you can get done, just you can't predict, because there might be a blaring loud TV on in the waiting room with CBeebies and lots of toddlers climbing all over you, so you just you never know how much you're going to get done. But we've done our best, and I'm gonna end this video here because, knowing me, I could go on all day with these Q&As, but I'm going to try and intersperse the rest of them with the vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!